Hi guys, this is the Casual Fan. Now, Lewis Hamilton might not like it once he comes across what Toto Wolff might have indirectly said about him. So, let us set the context for you first. Toto Wolff recently sat down with an Austrian outlet and in a statement that might have been intended to be an indirect shot at Max Verstappen has, in all likelihood turned out to be a rather unprovocated dig at his own driver, Lewis Hamilton. In his interview with the Austrian outlet, Toto Wolff was asked, Max Verstappen is currently making a super focused impression. Can he still be stopped on the way to the title? To this question, in what can be assumed was meant to be a subtle dig at Max Verstappen, it appears to have come out horribly wrong, as Wolff replied. Last year, Max drove a worse car with the crowbar and won the title. Now he has the fastest car and everything is easier for him. The pendulum is swinging in his favor. In that statement, in a rather subtle way, Toto Wolff has boasted not only about Mercedes putting up a better challenge last season than what Ferrari is able to do this season, but he has also confessed that last season Mercedes had a better machinery than Red Bull. While there's nothing wrong in claiming that you had the best machinery last season if you had swept both the championships. However, while Mercedes was able to clinch the constructors' title for a record 8th time, it lost the driver's title to Max Verstappen. When Toto Wolff says that Max Verstappen won the title in a worse car, it also means that Lewis Hamilton lost the title in a better car. And in turn, Max Verstappen was the better driver of the two last season. Well, while there is to an extent a debate over whether the statement was ever intended to involve Lewis, but Wolff's assertion does throw Lewis Hamilton, who is already not having a great season, in a further mess. Okay, now for once, keeping the intentions out of the picture, let's answer one key question. Is there some truth to these claims? Was Max Verstappen the better driver last season? Well, if we take a look back at the 2021 season, then there are a few things that stand out for both Lewis and Max. For Lewis, it's the mistakes at Imola, Baku and Austria, or his off weekends in Monaco of all places, or a rather lackluster race in Turkey, the tire blunder in Hungary, which ultimately compounded into points lost by the Mercedes driver. Sure, there were great races by Lewis as well. I mean, who can forget his drive in Brazil? But at the end of the day, when it came to losing points, Lewis left a lot of them on the table. Something that was uncharacteristic of him in the past few seasons before the 2021 season battle with Max Verstappen. On the other hand though, if we talk about Max, it's hard to pinpoint Max suffering from any off weekends throughout the season. The Red Bull driver's biggest Achilles heel was his fortune that drowned him in Baku with a tire puncture. That didn't help him in Silverstone, where he crashed and was out of the race, while Lewis Hamilton won and closed down the gap in the championship. Or even in Hungary, where he was an innocent bystander but was caught out by Valtteri Bottas losing control and costing Max a significant chunk of points. Even at the end of the year, both the drivers as well as team principals had voted Max Verstappen as clearly and unanimously the best driver of the 2021 season. So, therefore, if we have to have a debate over who was the better driver in the 2021 season, then Max Verstappen takes the cake. The problem though with coming to that conclusion is that even though it is in no way incorrect to assert that Max Verstappen was the better driver, it is wrong for his own boss to come out in the media and make such a statement. Especially because Lewis Hamilton could still be reeling from what happened in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Not only that, even this season, driving a rather uncompetitive Mercedes has not been a pleasant experience for Lewis, as he has been beaten by George Russell in the last 4 races. To add to this, right now is not the time to come out with such statements because Lewis, well, he's probably at his lowest right now and would need as much support as possible from the team, not such digs in the media. Especially because if we look back at the last 8 seasons, it's not been plain sailing for Mercedes as well. There have been scenarios where Lewis Hamilton has pulled the team out of the mess on multiple occasions. Mercedes was never supposed to win the Turkish Grand Prix 2020. It was only Hamilton's brilliance that made that happen. Mercedes was on the back foot in the German Grand Prix in 2018. Even then, it was Lewis and his brilliance that resulted in him winning the race and pretty much breaking the backbone of the Ferrari Vettel challenge. I can go on and on. There are multiple races where Lewis, well, he basically gave a get out of jail card to Mercedes and kept the dominance alive. Although on a slightly different note, there is one thing that everyone might be missing out right now. Toto Wolff is not someone who is notorious for being a loose cannon with his mouth. He is almost always very calculated, very measured, and does not say anything that he has not already thought out. These are the kind of comments you expect from a helmet Marco who goes off the cuff more often than not. But these are not the comments you expect out of Toto Wolff, especially after seeing him as part of the paddock for more than a decade now. With that in mind, if that is the case, then could this be a scenario where Mercedes is probably starting to lean towards a younger and cheaper option in George Russell? It is a fact that Russell leads Hamilton by more than 20 points after the first 5 races of the season. It's also known that Russell is still getting used to the team and will only get stronger as the season progresses. Could this be a scenario where Toto Wolff, someone who is cognizant of the fact that Lewis Hamilton could be retiring at the end of the season, is starting to realize that Hamilton's shelf life at the top of the sport is starting to come to an end, and it is time to pass the baton to the young blood? Could there be a case where Russell, in just 5 races this season, has already shown the team that he can compete with the best on the grid? Either ways, what we are trying to get to is that could Mercedes be moving towards George Russell as its lead driver, considering Hamilton's age and Russell's potential for the future? Although I feel it's too early to make such a judgment, but that particular comment, it is not going to go down well with Lewis Hamilton, and I guess we might see or even hear a retaliation from the 7-time world champion very soon. So these are my views. What do you guys think? What do you guys make of the comments by Toto Wolff? Do let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. See you next time.